The newest version of the evolution tree with every new Galar Pokemon on it is now available for pre-order. Thank you to those of you supporting the channel by checking out the merch store, and those of you, of course, supporting me on Patreon, including the big Patreon, the Nerd Therapist. Thank you. Hello, Pokemon Master! My name is Burkey and thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome back to Galar Week. A week with a new video every single day in celebration of the Galar region and Pokemon Sword and Shield finally coming out. Don't forget, if you leave a like, you leave a comment on this video, there is a chance for you to win a copy of the game as well as the special limited edition Switch Lite. I'll be choosing the winner shortly after the games are out and announcing it here on the channel. On top of that, if you want to support the channel, I've already mentioned the posters. Of course, we have as well our Team Snooze onesies. I've been wearing mine all week. I've been wearing it non-stop since I got it. Actually, they are incredibly comfy. There's also shirts, there are wristbands. Check them all out in the store using the links down below. Oh, and that new evolution tree might be pre-orders at the moment, but the final version that you're gonna get is gonna have every single new Pokemon on it. Now, with that all out of the way, I wanna kind of jump back to the very beginning of the channel when I did a theory about the Crystal Onyx. About how Steelix's Pokedex entry talks about how it's harder than Diamond and how ridiculous I thought that was. How actually in the Kanto region there are several Pokemon with kind of body parts as hard or harder than Diamond. Cloyster's Shell is one of them. And another one I wanted to do a video about is Ponyta's hooves, also said to be harder than Diamond. So I got round to the Steelix video obviously right away. I got the Cloyster video within about a week. And Ponyta, it's taken me 4 years to tackle this topic. Because what is there to say other than I think that Pokedex entry is ridiculous. Of course, now I think I understand it a little bit better. And I think that I understand that regular Ponyta is just plain better than Galarian Ponyta, certainly stronger. Worse design though. Galarian Ponyta is adorable. So what are these Pokedex entries? Well, when you look at Generation 1, it's not hard to see how ridiculous some of them are. One of them says that its hooves are 10 times harder than Diamond. Another one says that it can jump over the Eiffel Tower. Wait, you mean the Kalos? The Kalos Tower? The Lumio City Gym? What do you mean the actual Eiffel Tower? Pokemon, your world confuses me sometimes. But this whole idea 10 times harder than Diamond, a quick Google search will tell you that nothing is harder than... Oh, okay. Actually, as it happens, a quick Google search tells you that there are, in fact, things harder than Diamond. How did I not know this? I believe that... Wait, what? This article was published in 2009. How have I believed that diamonds are the hardest material? That is the power of misinformation. Turns out there are substances harder than Diamond. So as I'm about to mispronounce these, there is Lon's Delight or Wurz Delight or Lon's Delight. Look, there's Super Diamond and Super Diamond. We're not too worried about the science here. Of which Lonstalliite, as I've now realized it's pronounced, it is said to perform 58% more effectively than Diamond when subjected to certain strength tests. So certainly not 10 times stronger, but you know, a decent amount stronger. However, what I will say is while we know that Diamond is formed underground as a result of carbon molecules subjected to a lot of heat and pressure, these other substances, Wurzite and Lonstalliite, Wurzite only really occurs in the earth naturally when volcanoes erupt and around those areas, and Lonstalliite forms when meteorites containing graphite hit the earth. Thank you, Google. So how are these substances that are harder than Diamond getting inside Ponyta's hooves? Well, in conjunction with its incredibly hard hooves, we do know that Ponyta is a fantastic runner. Pokemon X's Pokedex entry suggests that it's a really weak runner at birth, but it gets better very, very quickly by trying to keep up with its parents, aka Rapidash. Now, and I know at this point in the video you're wondering, how does this tie into Galarian Ponyta? Bear with me. Rapidash's deal is that it has a Pokedex entry that says it can run as fast as 150 miles per hour, trying to keep up with cars and trains. And given that you commonly find Ponyta and Rapidash on the cycling road in Kanto, that's not a surprise, because some of those bikers are not using bicycles, some of them are using motorbikes. So it chases after them and it learns to become a very good runner. And if you want to know how fast 150 miles per hour is, the fastest land animal is a cheetah, and that can reach a measly 75 miles per hour by comparison. So yeah, Rapidash is fast. And Ponyta and Rapidash, of course, are fire Pokemon. And the way that fire Pokemon work in the Pokemon world, there are many Pokedex entries, Flareon's, Torchics, Makago's talks about it as well. A lot of their internals are on fire, and you can kind of see some of that getting vented through the back of Ponyta and Rapidash. Very often Pokedex entries describe a flame sac or magma-like blood. And the one thing that Ponyta's hooves and extremities need to keep on moving, to keep on working, is blood, or their fire-like blood pumping around them. Now, hooves typically in the real world probably made of keratin. It's the Pokemon world, so I don't know what substance they're made of. Is keratin carbon-based? I really don't know the science that well, but the point is we have our kind of base material for the hooves. We've got the heat going around, getting circulated, this heat-like body that Ponyta has that literally generates fire. All of that heat going round and round and round and round, so we have heat. And now all we need is pressure, which we get a lot of when Ponyta and Rapidash run across the fields of Kanto or up and down Cycling Road. They're traveling at 150 miles per hour. Ponyta is keeping up with its parents. It has to learn to do that, which means at minimum it has a ton of wind resistance going against it. I mean, that is a lot of pressure. We've got our heat, we've got our pressure, and maybe through Pokemon logic and probably some very weak, loosely based on science stuff, we have a Ponyta that can have hooves harder than diamond. Okay, but what's that got to do with Galarian Ponyta? Well, Galarian Ponyta does not live on Cycling Road, nor does it live in the fields of the Kanto region, nor does it have a fire-like substance generated through its body. Instead, it is a psychic-type Pokemon. And it lives in the forests of Glimwood Tangle. As we've briefly seen, there are trees everywhere. This is not somewhere where you could run straight for 150 miles per hour and not collide with a tree. This Ponyta is probably a lot slower than regular Ponyta, and its hooves, as a result, probably don't get as much of that heat and pressure to it, meaning its hooves are much weaker. And in that sense, Galarian Ponyta is weaker than regular Ponyta. However, Galarian Ponyta does now explain one of Ponyta's Pokedex entries that talks about how it can jump over the Eiffel Tower. At the time of recording this video, I have not yet seen what Galarian Ponyta evolves into, what that Rapidash looks like. There is a theory that it could be a Pegasus, a winged horse from ancient mythology, and the idea that it could jump over the Eiffel Tower would make a lot more sense if it had wings, but nevertheless, Galarian Ponyta is a psychic type and thus has the ability to levitate other objects and likely itself, much like other psychic Pokemon. So to the untrained eye who couldn't tell the difference between the two forms of Ponyta, perhaps this is the beginning of that time when the two Ponytas began to diverge into different species and Ponyta was seen developing psychic powers for the first time. The people of the Kalos region, which, hold up, 1 second. Ponyta and Rapidash, not even in the Kalos Pokedex. Never mind. The point is, when Ponyta started developing psychic powers, it would be very interesting to see if it would have jumped, aka levitated, over the Kalos Tower, or the Eiffel Tower, if you like. So in that sense, maybe Galarian Ponyta is in fact a little bit better. Either way, my preference is definitely Galarian Ponyta. I prefer the look, but this kind of finally, partly explains in some kind of pseudo-sciencey way exactly how Ponyta's hooves can be that hard. And also how it could jump over the Eiffel Tower. Which one's your favorite? Do you prefer, classic Ponyta, or do you prefer the Galarian form? Also, you might realize, looking at the timecode, that this video isn't quite over yet, because there's one more thing. You might be familiar with the work of Joshua Dunlop. He does absolutely phenomenal artwork of real-life Pokemon, and Joshua has been uploading videos to his YouTube channel, and so he asked me would I be willing to share one of those videos with you now. He's just done a video about Ponyta, just to be in conjunction and be in theme with this video. So I wanted to play it now. It is very different. In my opinion, these videos and Joshua's artwork is really quite beautiful. So enjoy this. And if you like it, please click that link and go and check out and support Joshua. And I will see you, I guess, tomorrow. So hi, Pokemon Masters, and enjoy.
It was early March and the winter frosts had already begun to melt on the volcanic isle of Cinnabar. I was visiting a friend named James Taylor, a ranger that worked closely with fire-type Pokemon. He worked primarily on the north side of the island where the coastal beaches and hills were famous for their black sands. We got up early, climbed into his car and drove to the volcanic plains. Grass and moss had started to cover the land as ice had begun to rapidly melt. It provided much needed sustenance to the wildlife. Glacial ice in the high mountains had disappeared, and in their place, powerful rivers and waterfalls spread fresh water around the usually hot desert island. We were looking for a rare and beautiful breed of Pokemon, Ponyta family. Usually living in large herds, these fire-type Pokemon are perfectly adapted to their environment. Though elegant, They are surprisingly robust and live quite comfortably in the rocky plains. As with most fire-type Pokemon, they live in areas that aren't easily flammable in order to protect their surroundings. Their manes are made up of highly durable, extremely light and fireproof hair. It can organically heat up to extremely high temperatures due to a chemical reaction in the follicles. It then ignites a naturally produced oil that creates the brilliantly fiery manes that they're famous for. The rest of their skin excretes a different kind of oil that repels fire, so not to get burnt by their own flames. We parked up and hiked to a small valley range about half a mile from the car. As we came over the ridge I saw it, a Ponyta. It was as beautiful as James had said. Its flames danced as it cantered across the black rocky field. Their hair was once widely sought after due to its durability and fire-resistant fibres. Though very expensive, they were used in a variety of garments. Some of the most influential were blacksmith's gloves and aprons used by only the most skilled masters. Eventually, synthetic materials were created and replaced the more mundane items. However, their fire silk was adopted by high society as a statement of wealth.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master!